Hi again, everyone, and welcome to Badger Breakdown. I'm Mike Lucas from UWBadgers.com. I'm joined by the voice of the Badgers, Matt Lepay. Who would have thought, after Wisconsin lost its Big Ten opener to Michigan State, that so many of the pieces of the puzzle would start to fit, and the Badgers would beat Ohio State and Iowa back-to-back, and now put themselves in a position to get a share of the Big Ten championship.
Especially with the injuries, Mike. Saw as somebody we both know, I'll protect the guilty here, who pointed out to us in training camp, we bumped into him, somebody pretty close to the program, and we were talking, boy, what happens if John Clay goes down with an injury? Well, what's going to happen? He was right. And then when Chris Borland went down with the injury early in the season, we're thinking, boy, this is going to be a lot to overcome, a playmaker. You just look at what this team has done with all the injuries that have occurred. We mentioned after the Michigan State game, that was the mulligan, not knowing whether they could avoid that second loss. And to their credit, you know, the star power is what it is. Maybe it's minimal, but collectively this group has done a great job with a lot of obstacles to be in the position it's in right now.
With the exception of J.J. Watt, you don't see the star quality that previous Wisconsin teams that were in the same position had. And yet they've been able to make plays to get off the field at the most opportune times.
And what you see is maybe star power that isn't, you know, something that is, you know, must-see TV, but you better have a really good left tackle, which they do. And the left guard's awfully good. The center position, all across the line, that offensive line has been as good as people thought it could be, even with, you know, a guy like Peter Kahns being banged up. And they've made the plays, going back to Shelton Johnson making a touchdown-saving tackle and a kick return against Arizona State, a couple of blocked PATs, a fake punt, a fourth down conversion. They've managed, when those handful of plays that have been there, to decide a game and to this point decide where they are in the season. They've been able to make them.
There have been a lot of great stories on this team, especially among a small senior class that has contributed in a big way. But I can't imagine anyone having a better story to tell when he's done here than Scott Tolzien.
Without a doubt. I mean, and Brett Bielema has talked about it, and he's exactly right. You know, during the summer before the '09 season, people are wondering about the quarterback battle, and Scott Tolzien's name wasn't mentioned. You know, we were watching the training camp practices. You know, we knew that Scott was playing pretty well. I didn't think they were still going to name him. I thought they would err on the side of caution, knowing, okay, we know what Dustin Shear can do, and Dustin handled that superbly, as we all know. But, you know, for Scott Tolzien to do what he has done, you talk about somebody, the old coaching line, know who you are. Scott Tolzien's the model of that. He does. He stays flat line, but yet he has gained respect, I think, with each day. He's gained more and more respect going back to last year to where he is this season. You talk about a key playmaker on this team, you know, you could call him a system quarterback, whatever. He's made some awfully key throws in pressure situations for this team.
And the one thing everybody around the country is talking about is Wisconsin's offense, but namely the offensive line. Remember those preseason magazines that had this group ranked very high? And we were all wondering, are they this good? Well, they've proven to be.
And the coaches, Brett Bielema talked about it. Paul Christ, you know, the assistant, said, yeah, they put up really good numbers last year. Let's see what you do in these games against the elite defenses, or the teams that you think going in are going to have elite defenses, such as Ohio State, such as Iowa. I think those games, if there were skeptics out there about the offensive line, those two games went a long way in removing a lot of that skepticism. The job clearly isn't done. You know, there's still, they have Northwestern to deal with, as we all know. But I think those two games in October took away a lot of doubts as to, okay, how good is this offensive line really? And those games answered it, and especially with John Clay not being healthy, they've been able to plug running backs in, Monty Ball, James White specifically, and they have rolled along.
This team now has a chance to write a terrific final chapter to a regular season. I can't imagine what it's going to be like in Camp Randall Stadium, not only because of the seniors and recognizing them, but recognizing what this team has been able to accomplish.
Yeah, it should be electric. I can't imagine it would be anything but here's a big but going into the game. Northwestern is still a pretty good team.
Yes,
you know,
they are.
Dan Persa is hurt. We know that. He was to Northwestern what Denard Robinson has been, I think, to Michigan. Maybe a little different type of players, but equally important to their teams. And this isn't the old for the season Northwestern. That's very old news. And the Wildcats are 4-1 on the road. The one loss was at Penn State, and they had a good lead in that game. So this is anything but a layup, and that's why I know Brett's, you know, trying to get the crowd as emotional and as jacked up as it could be. A 2:30 kickoff can't hurt.
Should be fun. For Matt Lepay, I'm Mike Lucas. Thanks for watching UWBadgers.com.